Welcome back to the High Path channel. We are totally inspired by fall and we are cooking everything cinnamon today. Let's go. You gotta stand tall. For those of you who are new here, welcome. We are the family behind the blog highpath.com and the goat milk soap company Eden Body Care. We are a large family of 7 who homesteads, gardens, homeschools, and we love to share all of our plant-based recipes with you here. So fall is upon us and we are loving it. Today we are starting off with some apples here. We're gonna make everything cinnamon because why not? We are just welcoming fall with everything we've got. So let's start off with chopping up some of these apples. We are chopping up these apples to make a sort of like a stewed apple topping for some apple cinnamon pancakes. So here I've chopped up 4 Granny Smith apples. We're going to add a little bit of cinnamon, some clove, a little bit of coconut sugar, and some water, and we're going to cook it down until it gets a little bit syrupy, a little bit delicious and sweet, and just nice and soft for the pancake topping. Now while that cooks in the background, I am actually going to prepare a cinnamon clove coffee cake. I was inspired by a pin on Pinterest. It was for this delicious like maple brown butter coffee cake with this delicious crumble looking thing. It really inspired me. So I wanted to make it our version, a vegan version, and of course a whole food plant-based type version without any refined sugar. So I have a full recipe on the description down below just so you can make it yourself as well. Speaking of inspiration, I also have a full blog post on keeping sane and keeping motivated, as well as keeping inspired in the kitchen while you are cooking every single meal at home. It can really get sort of mundane and so I wrote a full blog post. If you are interested in spicing up your life in the kitchen, I would suggest you go and check out the blog post. I have it linked down in the description below as well. We are still waiting for our spelt berries to arrive, so I am still just using an organic whole wheat flour this time that I purchased. I am going to use some cinnamon and clove in our mixture here. You can use as much cinnamon or as much clove as you want. Maybe some nutmeg would really be delicious in here. I didn't put the nutmeg. I don't know why. I probably should. We love nutmeg here. And then we're just going to mix it up. We added a little bit of water here just to make the batter a little bit more flowy and ready to go here. This batter is looking lovely. I have the oven in the background preheating at 350 degrees. I have the 9x13 baking dish lined with a parchment paper because we love parchment paper around here. We just hate things sticking. So I have the batter here, which we have just put into the pan, and then we're actually going to make a crumble for this coffee cake. All coffee cakes need a crumble, am I right? So we are just going to add some flour, coconut sugar. You can spice this with cinnamon and clove if you want to as well. We're going to add a little bit of coconut oil and just make a really simple, easy crumble that is really good on anything. Apple crumble, coffee cake, whatever crumble that you want. And then we're just going to use a whisk here to break the oil, or really just to cut the oil and the flour together. And that way we don't have to use our hands to make it crumbly, but I mean, obviously you can. I am just going to use a whisk for now. This really does help break up the oil and cut the oil into the flour to make these big crumbles. And then Grace so nicely volunteered, or I volunteered her, to put this crumbles onto the coffee cake. Alrighty, and we are just checking on the apples. You can see that the apples are nicely boiling. We want it to be boiling like this, and just keep an eye on it so it does not burn. These stewed apples are going to be a delicious topping for our pancakes. We can't wait. So the crumble is on, and we're going to bake this in the oven for about 40 minutes at 350 degrees. While that is in the oven, we're going to prepare some cinnamon molasses cookies because Grace really wanted to make some cookies. So we have some molasses here. We're going to add it to our cookie batter. And then as you can see, the apples have really cooked down a little bit here and all the water is pretty much gone. So I just added a little bit more water and then we're just going to make sure that that doesn't burn and just continue cooking it. I am stabbing it a little bit just to break up the apple pieces. And once the cookie batter is done here, I'm just going to spoon it like this. And I think I actually added a little bit too much flour in this batter because the cookies really didn't spread as much as I wanted to. I thought just by shaping it this way, you know, it'll just spread, but no, it didn't spread. I had to smush it down a little bit. And the kids also wanted to make some dog bone shaped cookies, so that's what Grace did. Once the cookies were done, I am going to bake it at 350 degrees, or maybe I believe it was 375 degrees for about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. And then meanwhile, we're going to start making the pancakes for our breakfast for the apples to go onto. While Mercy and I were making the pancake batter, Grace and the little one Isaiah, he is going to start making some more of the cookies into dog bone shapes because they wanted to. Here is our lovely pancake mixture, and we are going to just start off by adding some coconut oil onto our pans, our cast iron skillets. We're then just going to ladle it. At first, I initially wanted to make some small pancakes, but this took way too long, but I did start by making about 3 little small pancakes just to try, just to see how it turned out. If you have a larger skillet, by all means, definitely use that, and so that way you can just make more. If you want to, you can also bake these in the oven on a baking sheet or a cookie sheet just to kill some time, you know. After that batch, I was like, yeah, no, we're just gonna make some larger pancakes here. So I am just going to start 2 pans here, and I'm just going to make some larger pancakes. And these turned out so nice because they were nice and fluffy and light. They were really, really good. So I'm just going to continue making these pancakes, and once they are done, we are ready for breakfast. Look how yummy these pancakes are, and they're so nice and fluffy. So let's make a plate. So I have some pancakes that I'm just going to put on the plate here. You can, of course, use maple syrup or agave syrup would be nice on here, and maybe even some honey. I am going to just top it with some of these apples, and we are going to serve up breakfast for everybody. You can also put some strawberry jam or jelly on it, which we have in the background too. But look at this plate. Wouldn't you love to dig in? This is such a nice cozy breakfast to have for fall. The cinnamon molasses cookies also came out. The kids made some unicorn shapes and these are the smushed little regular cookies that I made, and then the kids also made some dog bone shaped cookies as well, which turned out really, really cute too. Last but not least, we also have the coffee cake. We had this for dessert. It was absolutely delicious. And tonight was very special because the sliver came out and we are celebrating the first day of all the fall feasts in the Bible. And today is Yom Teruah. So happy Yom Teruah. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend here. We certainly did. And if you are new here, please be sure to subscribe and like and thumbs up this video if you enjoyed this. And let's get back to the shofar blowing.